Sorry, Director Lucas.
I've got a question for staff. Out of we heard from hundreds of people in regards to this project. I wonder if staff could tell me what percentage of people spoke in favor of public ownership of this or against the P3 model out of the hundreds of people that we heard from.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, from the public participation that was involved, I couldn't give you a definitive percentage, but from the people who chose to participate in our public participation, certainly the vast majority spoke of a publicly owned and operated model.
The vast majority, would you say that's over 90%? Certainly the data we've seen suggests 90 or 95%.
I would certainly...
And this is an unfortunate. This is the West Shore.
I'm sorry. I'm sure Mr. Kalinchak knows math was going to be included in the job. So,
considering it's my last board meeting that I'll attend here, I'll answer that. Certainly, I would say that's well over 90%.
Okay. Over 90%. That's what we just found out. Over 90% of the public would like us to keep this project public or to avoid P3s. As an elected official, I can tell you that's the kind of plurality that you don't see even for, we could pass a motion supporting puppies and ice cream, but because of lactose intolerance or allergies, we wouldn't get 90% support for puppies and ice cream. Over the many months that we've seen dozens of reports, we've heard from hundreds of residents, and we spent hours discussing and debating how best to build and manage this resource. And as the business case before us clearly demonstrates, the public option is the lowest cost option. It's not the same as the other options, as has been suggested otherwise. It's $10 million cheaper than the other options. It's the option that best stands to benefit local businesses in regards to this massive influx of infrastructure funding, and it's the option that gives the CRD and regional residents and taxpayers the greatest amount of control over this project. As such, I cannot and will not commit the residents of the entire CRD to the economic and environmental risk of supporting a P3 in either the West Shore or for resource recovery in Greater Victoria. Throughout this long and challenging process, it's been suggested that private industry can do this project using less staff, greater technological innovation, and at a potentially lower cost. And all of this with no suggestion that this would negatively impact either service delivery or end-user satisfaction. Frankly, these assumptions are ill-considered, ill-founded, and unsupported. And I challenge the assumptions that the private sector has access to greater innovation or more skilled labor or management than the public sector. All of these claims have been put forward without a single shred of supportive evidence. Secondly, although this committee has heard and read very little about the challenges of recent P3s in BC and elsewhere in Canada and throughout the world from official reports and consultants, none of the members of this committee can feign ignorance to the serious or significant financial impact of collapsed P3s or the additional social and environmental impacts that such a collapse would have on the West Shore, and, as we just heard, the incredible impact this would potentially have on this entire project to the taxpayers throughout the CRD who would have to absorb the economic fallout from such a collapse. In short, our reports show that the traditional approach is the lowest cost solution. It's the lowest risk approach. It's the approach with the greatest opportunities for income generation and to mitigate the cost of this project. And it's the only approach before us with support from the public. I'll repeat that. It's the only approach before us with support from the public, who ultimately will be paying for this project. With all of this in mind, I support a fully public sewage option throughout this project. Colleagues, let's make things better for our regional environment. Let's not sell or give away the farm while doing so. 90%.